Nikki, now in her 20s, was in the early stages of transitioning from a man to a woman. Petite, beautiful, and shapely, she worked in a Houston, Texas mall, where she met Emilio Mata.
Great guy, had a beautiful daughter. I fell in love with him and her and ready-made family.
And as Nikki realized that Emilio was more than just another casual fling, she decided to reveal her deep secret.
I said on the phone one night, I was born a boy. He said, "You're joking. I don't believe you. You're just trying to blow me off." And he said, "All I want to do is just give you a hug."
So he accepted you?
Totally, 100%. And within just a few short weeks, we moved in together.
Nikki had already legally changed her name from Justin. The couple got a marriage license and soon tied the knot. And you were able to have a satisfying sexual relationship? Pardon the question, but
thanks.
One does wonder.
Yeah, I mean, it was not what I was envisioning.
But he was happy enough?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure so.
But the marriage began to sour as Nikki and Emilio fell into a life of drinking and drugs. There would be a series of arrests as Nikki was charged with passing bad checks and driving under the influence.
I think I was just spinning out of control, and I needed someone who was going to ground me.
Her life was now in a free fall, and Nikki's dream of having a sex change operation lost in the chaos of financial problems. Then she was arrested for cocaine possession.
I did not receive drug charges until the very end of our relationship. Literally, that was the breaking point.
After 8 years of marriage, Nikki and Emilio divorced in 2007. Drowning in troubles, Nikki says she soon found an answer.
When I spent the 2 weeks in the Wharton County Jail with a Bible, I realized how important it was to pull myself together. So I got out of jail and grabbed hold of God quickly.
She found a fresh start in Wharton, Texas, and began going to church, where she met Thomas Araguz, a divorced father of 2. Both were lost souls looking for salvation after suffering through bad marriages. There was instant chemistry, and Nikki says that just like with her first husband, she quickly told Thomas the truth about her gender, that she was physically a man.
Within a week, I told him that I'm transgendered, and he was like, what are you talking about? So I had to break it down for him and, explain the anatomical birth defect.
Was he put off by this?
No, he acted very calm, and was just taking it in and listening to me.
Now, let me be clear about this. You told Thomas immediately.
Immediately, and he wanted to see. So I showed him my body. And so we continued to have a relationship.
Did he feel that he was dating a man who's dressing like a woman?
No, he definitely felt like I was the most woman that he'd ever been with. Those were the exact words to me.
Her insistence that Thomas knew everything would later play a prominent role in their lives.
I asked him, I said, "Do you know that Nikki was once, a man?"
Nikki's sister Vanessa was pleased that Thomas was so accepting.
And he said yes, and it doesn't matter to me. I love her unconditionally.
There's no doubt in your mind that he said this?
No doubt in my mind that he said this to me.
Nikki's family was always open about her past, but Thomas's was kept in the dark. She says they stayed quiet about her physical identity, fearing his religious family wouldn't approve. Did you sleep together?
Of course we slept together. I mean, we slept naked together for our entire relationship, unless the children were in the home. We had an incredible sexual relationship.
By the time they were married in the summer of 2008, she says she'd finally saved the nearly $19,000 for a sex change operation, and that Thomas was completely supportive.
He went to the doctors with me before my surgery so that we could clarify the process of what it was going to take. And
so he knew that you wanted to have this sexual
I paid for it a year in
reassignment
advance.
surgery.
Yeah.
While Nikki was having the sexual reassignment surgery, Thomas told his family she was having a hysterectomy. Finally, at the age of 33, after living a life of a woman trapped in a man's body, Nikki physically became a woman.
And he made love to me. He was so sweet. He was so romantic. And it was like we were built for each other physically, by far. The most beautiful experience of my life, to make love to my husband who knew everything the whole time and loved me anyway.
But their newfound happiness wouldn't last long. Heather Delgado, Thomas's ex-wife, wanted to change the custody arrangement for their sons.
I just wanted more time with the boys. She was taking control of everything, not leaving anything for me with school, medical appointments, dentist appointments. I would make them. She would call and cancel to set them on a date where Thomas had the boys so that she could take them.
Was there friction with his ex-wife, the boy's mother?
Always. There'd been friction from the beginning.
Then, just a few months before Thomas's death, Heather made a stunning discovery. What kind of paperwork did you see?
Her birth certificate stating that she was a male, that her name was Justin Graham Perdue.
It was information passed on to her ex-husband.
He was in shock, and he looked at the birth certificate and he just pushed it away, and he was like, this is not her birth certificate.
She just lied to the family. She lied to Tommy.
Thomas's family accuses you of being manipulative. They call you a con artist.
Nikki, how do you feel about today?
As two families feud over what Thomas Araguz really knew about his wife and when he found out. Stay with us. The shocking revelations about Nikki Araguz's secret life, that she was born a male, came to light 2 months before her husband Thomas died fighting a fire. His ex-wife, Heather Delgado, hurt and angry that Nikki was overstepping her bounds as a stepmom, searched for anything to help in her custody battle over their 2 sons.
I was able to come across a certain individual that gave me information on Nikki.
What had you heard about her?
She was a man, and that her name was Justin Graham Perdue, and that she had a lot of felony convictions. She was in trouble basically all her life.
Why does that have to come up in your custody dispute?
I just don't believe in sex change, and I didn't want my children to be around a person like that.
So she no longer wanted her boys living with their dad 4 days a week. Her attorney, Frank Mann III, confronted Thomas under sworn deposition about Nikki's past.
When I first handed him the document that showed that she was a man, formerly a man, he was completely shocked, like he was going to be sick. Then I asked him, did he know that Nikki used to be a man? And he said no.
We went into that knowing that he was going to lie. He was so afraid of losing custody of the children. And she kept saying to him that she's going to take them away from him because of who he's married to. So he was deeply afraid of that.
But would Thomas, a sworn peace officer, lie under oath? His mother says no, that he had no idea of his wife's secret.
When I finally read the deposition and I read all the paperwork, I saw the birth certificate, I fell to my knees. I fell to my knees when I read that. I was so hurt. I was so angry. Nikki had just lied.
But Nikki's family insists Thomas knew exactly who he was getting involved with.
On multiple occasions, I spoke with Thomas about that.
Her sister Vanessa says her brother-in-law had even seen photos of Nikki as a boy when he visited.
If Thomas was going to come here, he was going to see pictures on our wall of Justin. So it was going to be open.
Do you accept the possibility that maybe he knew, but he just simply couldn't tell you that he knew?
Maybe. That's a big maybe. He may have known some things, but a lot of it came out in the deposition that he just didn't know.
The anger and family tension soon became unbearable for Nikki and Thomas. Police were even called to their home to deal with domestic disputes.
Wharton County 911. What's going on there?
Domestic violence.
They were volatile at times, but we loved each other hard, and we fought hard.
Had you talked about divorce?
I'm sure I spewed that out of anger. However, that was never an intention of mine.
But Thomas's family insists that he declared the marriage over. In fact, the couple was no longer living together at the time he died. Now, 3 months later, the bitterness has hit a breaking point. In a lawsuit, the Aragoos family claims that Nikki has no right to collect any benefits from her husband's estate. His sons, they say, should inherit everything, nearly $1 million. The Aragoos family attorney, Chad Ellis, says the marriage was a fraud, as Texas does not recognize same-sex marriages.
The question then becomes, what gender is Nikki Aragoos? The courts have said that you are what you're born as. Because Nikki is and always will be a male in the state of Texas, the marriage between Tommy and Nikki is void as a matter of law.
In her fight against the lawsuit, Nikki's taken the unusual step of having her original birth certificate reissued, this time stating she is a female.
It's all about money. It's all about money for them. It's all about my husband being gone for me. And the equal right of my Thomas to be married. That's what it's all about.
Is this about revenge?
No. As his mother, I'm going to protect my son and my grandsons. The way that I understand it is that if she were a woman, then yes, half of it belongs to her. But she's not a woman. She's a guy.
Amidst the heated family battle over death benefits, lost are the headlines of a fallen hero.
I can't imagine wanting to share a secret with anyone as much as I do with him.
Today, the focus is on a secret once closely guarded, now an open book for the world to see.
I have no private life, and my husband would want me to move forward. So I have to move on. And I don't even know what that looks like.
A decision in the lawsuit against Nikki Aragoos could come as early as the end of this year. And that's our program for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Elizabeth Vargas.
And I'm Chris Cuomo. For all of us at 2020 and ABC News, we are in touch, so you be in touch all the time online at abcnews.com. And don't forget, you can reach either of us on Facebook. We got the Twitter going. Please try us out and have a great weekend. Good night.